Hello and welcome to all the fans of the greatest show on earth, which is The Vampire Diaries. I welcome you at the 11th episode, which is called Bloodlines. This episode has a lot of information. It is packed with great information, new stuff, and great scenes. So let's dive into it. Before we start with today's episode, I just have a little note for last episode, and it's something I forgot to mention, but I do want to mention that. So in the last episode, when Stefan and Elena are laying in bed before she finds the photo of Catherine, Elena is asking Stefan about his room and if the stuff that are in his room, if he takes it with him or if he leaves it there. And he tells her, "This room holds every memory that I've ever thought was important enough to hold on to," which basically means that the photo of Catherine that he still cares about her, or like it's important enough to hold on to, which I don't think I've mentioned last time. So maybe that also was something that was on Elena's mind when she saw the picture. But of course, she saw that she looks like her, and that would freak anybody out. But I did want to mention that so we have it all together and we can start this episode with all the information. After the recap, this episode starts with a scene where Stefan calls Elena unsuccessfully. She doesn't pick up, and then he's leaving her a voicemail. "Elena, it's Stefan. I know that this picture must have confused you, but I can explain. I need to explain, so please, when you get this, call me." Then we see Elena again in the car, which is like where we kind of ended last episode, and we see again her crash, and then the person coming towards her car, the person that she hit, and the person gets kind of cracks back into shape and form and walks to her car. We only see his feet. Then the feet stop, and then the person disappears, and right away Damon appears. Elena first screams because she's freaked out. She thinks it's that person she hit, but then she realizes it's Damon, and she's very relieved to see that it's him. Elena then tells Damon that she cannot unbuckle her seatbelt, and he tells her, "Don't worry, I'll get you out of the car, put your hands on the roof." Then he counts until 3, and then he kind of rips the seatbelt off of Elena and he pulls her out of the car. Then he's asking her if she's okay and if she has any bones broken or anything broken. Damon then tries to stand Elena down, but she can't stand up. She's very weak and she starts falling, so he catches her again, and Elena super weakly says, "I look like her," and then she passes out. Damon kind of pets her hair, and then he takes her into his arms and he carries her away. I think that this is basically the very first time that Damon is acting nice towards Elena, and he shows us a different side of him and his personality that we will all grow to love later on. Then we see the Vampire Diaries on the screen, and this episode is officially starting. In the next scene, Rick is sitting at his computer at his desk, and we can hear a voiceover in his head of his voice where it says, "I found one. After years of research and study, there it was right in front of me. I was terrified. As I stared in its eyes, I drove a stake through its heart. I was right about Mystic Falls. There is evil here. I can sense it, feel it. It's everywhere." Which is a bit dramatic, but I think I understand Rick and him learning that vampires are real. Rick is then looking at a photo of a woman on his desk, and this scene changes into a flashback where we lay eyes on Isabel for the first time. She's laying in bed and she says she hates morning people, which same. I am so not a morning person. I admire people who get up at 5 o'clock to go to the gym and then go to work. I am not those people. I like to be warm and cozy, and I mean, it's amazing and you are great, but I cannot do that. Um, then Rick is telling her that he's gonna get home late tonight, and then they tell each other, I love you. And we come back to the present where Rick is still staring at this photo. I have to say that Matthew Davis is acting really well in the scene. Like the expressions on his face is greatly showing us all those emotions that are going through his head without him really saying anything. And we know that, something happened or something bad happened to her. So they're kind of like foreshadowing, that story. In the next scene, we see Damon's iconic blue sports car, which, by the way, is in Covington, and I saw it. It's at the Welcome Center. And it was so good to stand next to it. You cannot touch it. I wanted to touch it, but you can't. But I have a picture with it, and I was like staring at it, and it was so good. And there was many more stuff there. There was the safe that Stefan is locked underwater for like 2 months, so the safe is there. I think there is also Damon's bed in there behind glass, so that nobody is tempted to climb into Damon's bed, which I'm sure all of us are. Then there's some dresses, I think, from like some prom or something. There's a lot of stuff there. It was really cool. I didn't realize there was gonna be so much props from the show. But anyways, Elena is waking up in Damon's car and she's asking him where they are. He tells her they are in Georgia. Elena starts freaking out and she tells him to stop. And Damon is like annoyed and he says, you were so much more fun when you were asleep. Elena climbs out of the car and we can still see she's very weak. Damon vamp speeds next to her and he's checking if she's okay. And I think it's like weird that Damon didn't give Elena blood last night to heal her, because when he like pulled her out of the car, because what if she had like bleeding on a brain or like brain swelling or something that like internal bleeding that you cannot see, and she could have like died from it. But I don't know, maybe he can like hear her heartbeat and he can kind of figure out that by the heartbeat that she was fine. I don't know, but I think I would just give her blood. But I understand, because he needed her to pass out, or like for the story, the writers needed Elena to kind of be unconscious and Damon drive away with her without like her knowing, because if he gave her the blood, then she would be fine right away and she would like fight him not to go with him, and the writers need her to go with him. That makes sense. And then Elena is like freaking out that she had like a crash and her car is total and she has to come back, like she has to go home. She cannot be in Georgia with him. And Damon's like, but you already are in Georgia. And by the way, Georgia, and specifically Atlanta, was the first state and the first town I ever visited in the US. It was my first trip to the US with my dad in 2011. So Atlanta, Georgia will always have like, I'll always have like a soft spot for it. Damon then tells Elena that like he kind of points out that she doesn't have her magical little necklace, which he means the necklace with Vervain that Stefan gave her, so that he can make her agreeable to the trip. And then Elena's phone is ringing, but it's ringing from Damon's pocket, and it's Stefan calling. Damon picks up the phone and Elena doesn't want to talk to Stefan. Damon tells Stefan that Elena's okay, and Stefan tells Damon that if he's gonna like do anything to Elena, he's gonna have like they're gonna have a problem. Elena then says again that she has to go home, nobody knows where she is, and Damon's like, but we're almost there. And she's like, where is there? And Damon says, a little place right outside of Atlanta. Oh, come on, Elena. You don't want to go back right now, do you? What's the rush? Time out. Trust me. Your problems are still going to be there when you get home. Look, step away from your life for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Elena then asks him if she's going to be safe with him, if he's going to use compulsion on her, and he says no to both. Then she asks him if she can trust him, and instead of replying to her, he just kind of shoves her into the car, but he like shoves her in there in a very cute way. I love it. In the next scene, Rick is frantically trying to find something in his car, and Jeremy's walking by. Rick is telling him that he cannot find his ring, but then he finds it and he is very relieved. And then I think the angle here was that Rick was a vampire, but like, I don't know. We know now that he's not a vampire, because if he was, he wouldn't be saying after years of research, I found one. So clearly Rick is not a vampire. So maybe what they were trying to show us here with this, like him trying to find the ring, he cannot find it and whatnot, is that there's like something special about the ring, or there is like a bigger story behind the ring, something like that. Rick is then asking Jeremy about the paper that he's writing and how it's going, and Jer says that he found a journal from his ancestor from the 19th century, and Rick is super impressed by this information. In the next scene, we have Bonnie and Stefan. Stefan wants Bonnie to help him to find Elena with Elena's necklace that she left at his house. Bonnie doesn't really want to do it, but then she tries because it's Elena, and nothing is happening. Then she tries, she picks up a leaf and she tries to pick up the leaf with her magic, put it in the air, and it's not happening. So she tells Steph there's something wrong, and right away he's like, with Elena? And she's like, no, with me. There's something wrong with me. Like, Stefan is being super selfish in this instance about Elena. And then Bonnie says, I'm sorry, I cannot help you, and she leaves. Elena and Damon are in the car, and Elena is asking Damon if he knew that vampire that was standing in the middle of the road and she hit him with the car and he caused her accident. Damon says that he never met him before. We don't all know each other. I don't know all the vampires that are out there in the world. Then Damon parks in front of Bree's bar and they go inside. Bree jumps over the counter and she starts kissing Damon, and Elena is just watching it in amazement. Then Bree starts to pour shots and she says, which I love this is awesome. Let's read it. Listen up, everybody. Here's to the man that broke my heart, crushed my soul, destroyed my life, and ruined any and all chances of happiness. And I feel like probably a lot of us felt like this about an ex of ours, and I just love this. Broke my heart, crushed my soul, destroyed my life, and ruined any and all chances of happiness. I mean, it's a bit dramatic, but I love it anyhow. Bree then tells Elena that Bree and Damon met in college, and Elena is like, you went to college? And Damon's like, I was in a college campus. Bree says that she fell madly in love with Damon, and that then he told her about his little secret, which made her love him even more, because she had a secret of her own that she was dying to share with somebody. And then Damon whispers, she's a witch. And then Bree also says that Damon is great in bed. Then she turns around and she's asking Damon what does he want from her. In the next scene, we have Jeremy, who is in the library, and he's looking for some books for his paper when all of a sudden one book flies out of the bookshelf on the floor. Then there is a girl that appears, and she's telling him she's really sorry that she pushed the books from the other side, and then it flipped or flopped down. Jer says it's okay, and then they both at the same time go down to pick up the book, and they bump each other's heads, and then they start laughing about it. And the girl says, I'm Anna, and Jer says, I'm Jeremy. And I have to mention that every time with the scene, I absolutely hate, and I don't know why, the line that Anna says, there was this one book wedged between the other, and so I pulled, and then kaplunk, kaboom. There is something about the way that the words sound, or the way she says it, or everything combined that I just hate. Kaplunk, kaboom. It's it's giving me ick. I don't know why. I cannot explain it. I just hate it. In the next scene is Bonnie at her grandma's, and she's telling her that she cannot do any magic, and she was trying to find what's wrong with her in books, like Gramsci's books, but there is nothing, like she didn't find anything. Gramps is telling her that the books are not gonna help her, and if she's blocked or like her magic is blocked, she needs to find the cause of it. And Bonnie's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, whatever got you so scared." In the next scene, there is Elena, and she's in front of the bar, and she's calling Jenna. She's lying to her, and she says that she was super tired and she slept over at Bonnie's, which I really don't understand quite much, because wouldn't someone notice Elena's like totaled car on the side of the road? Because Damon said he pulled it on the side of the road. I mean, Elena was driving from Stefan's house home, and it wasn't like she was going through like another town and driving for like an hour. Like, she was pretty close to home. So that was a little suspicious to me, that Jenna wouldn't hear about Elena's crashed car on the side of the road, because it is a small town. Inside of the bar, Damon is talking to Bree, and let's read their conversation. So Damon says, "Come on, there's got to be another way. After all these years, it's still only Catherine. How do you even know she's still alive?" "Well, you help me get into the tomb and we'll find out." "I already did, 20 years ago, remember? 3 easy steps: comet, crystal, spell." "There's a little problem with number 2. I don't have the crystal." "That's it, Damon. There's no other way. It's Emily's spell." "What about a new spell with a new crystal that overrides Emily's spell?" "It doesn't work that way, baby. Emily's spell is absolute. You can't get into the tomb." The next scene is Bonnie at the ruins of Old Fells Church, and she's walking around. Then she hears a sound, and all of a sudden the floor breaks underneath her feet and she falls down. Elena is still outside in front of the bar, and Stefan is calling her. He says that he wants to explain everything to her, and she says, "You lied to me." Then she is asking him how is she connected to Catherine. And I think firstly I would ask him if he's with me because I look like his ex, but okay. Anyways, Elena then kind of hangs up the phone on him, and Damon appears next to her, and he's asking her if she's okay. Elena kind of barks at him, "Don't pretend to care. I know you're floating inside." Bree is looking out of the window, and she sees that Damon is outside. She dials her phone. She's calling someone, we don't know who, and she puts on the blender so that Damon cannot hear what she's saying through his vamp hearing. And then she says on the phone, "You're never gonna guess who just walked into my bar." Then we have Stefan, who is at Bonnie's grandma's house. Bonnie's grandma's opening the door, they shake hands, and Stefan is asking her where is Bonnie, or if she knows where Bonnie is. And she says, "I don't know where she is, but you do." And Stefan's like, "What?" And Gramps tells him that Stefan knows what made Bonnie so scared, and that she believes that Stefan can protect Bonnie. And then she also adds, "I think you should go," meaning to go look for Bonnie and to help her with whatever she's going through. Then we are back at the library where Anna is helping Jeremy to find books for his paper. Jerry's asking her if she works there, and she says no. She says that she just goes there because she's homeschooled and that the library kind of mocks school environment for her. Anna is asking him what is the paper about, and then Jerry says about the origin of local myths and legends. Anna then laughs and says, "You mean the vampires?" Back at the bar, Elena and Damon are having a burger and they're talking, and let's read their conversation. Elena says, "Let's just say that I'm a descendant from Catherine. Does that make me part vampire?" "Vampires can't procreate, but we love to try." "No, if you were related, it would mean Catherine had a child before she was turned." "Did Stefan think that he could use me to replace her?" "Kinda creepy if you ask me." "Come on, what? You don't like pickles? What's wrong with you?" "How can you even eat if technically you're supposed to be dead?" "It's not such a bad word. As long as I keep a healthy diet of blood in my system, my body functions pretty normally." "That's a nice act. Is any of it real?" Bree then brings Damon a beer, and Elena says that she's gonna have one too. Damon looks like surprised at her, and she says, "Timeout, remember? For 5 minutes? Yeah, well, that 5 minutes is going to need a beer." And this scene, every time I see it, it makes me like laugh at Elena, because when she's drinking the beer, she like takes like a huge sip. Like she puts the bottle so upside down, and then she like swallows the beer and makes this face that you think that she's drinking like a 52% moonshine. Like, it's just hilarious. It's probably like a 3% beer, and she's making it seem like she's drinking, moonshine. And she like, it just looks all like badass, but it's like really funny. Like, I'm like, God. In the next scene, we are back at the library where Jeremy and Anna are talking. Jeremy says, "You're kidding me, right? There's no such thing as vampires." "Well, there's not a lot of documentation, but the stories have been told since the Civil War. My granddad used to tell me all these creepy stories when I was little, and he said that his granddad told them to him." And Jeremy, "Yeah, that'll be folklore. Vampires are a metaphor for the demons of the day, which are the Union soldiers. I've read the stories myself. They talk about the enemy, the demons that attack at night. That sounds like vampires to me. Allegorical vampires, which is what it is. Creative expression during a very volatile time. I mean, a country at war doesn't want realism. They want fantasy. Thus, the vampire fiction." And she tells him like, "Whoa, you're really smart." And then she says, "Well, good luck on your paper. I gotta get home. My great-grandfather actually showed me a journal once of an ancestor, and he had written all this creepy stuff about vampires. It was actually really believable." "Wait, a journal?" "Yeah, why? Are you sure you have to go?" And, I mean, Jeremy's theory about the Union soldiers being the allegorical vampires makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of like interesting that another character on this show is learning a little bit, or a little first pieces of information about vampires, even though Jeremy doesn't believe in vampires at all right now. Then we see Bonnie underneath the church, and she's trying to find a signal on her phone. And then someone jumps right behind her, and she's just totally scared, and she screams, which I totally get. I'm a scaredy cat myself. And then she sees it's Stefan, but like, couldn't Stefan just like call like from up there, like, "Hey, Bonnie, I'm here. I'm gonna help you get out. I'm coming down." Like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, that was, I don't know. Did you wanted to scare her to death or what? Stefan then tells Bonnie to close her eyes, and Kat is really good in this scene. She closes her eyes, and she totally kind of like, you can see the trust on her face towards Stefan. And then Stefan hugs her from behind, and he jumps up with her. Bonnie asks him how he found her, and he says that her grandma told him what Bonnie is doing, and then he guessed where she is. Bonnie then tells him that she heard the vampires behind the wall of the tomb, and if they are in pain, and Stefan said that in the beginning they were, but not anymore. Then Bonnie mentions that if the vampires had blood, but Stefan says no, it's not gonna happen. Emily destroyed the crystal, and they have no way of getting out. You're safe. At Bree's bar, Elena, Damon, and like a bunch of other people are doing shots. And then Damon drinks one, and a little bit of the alcohol like runs down like his cheek. And Elena is like, "Oh, she need a bib." And Damon is totally, I love this line, "Sorry, I can't unhinge my jaw like a snake to consume alcohol." And they are so cute together in this scene. Like, it's just, I don't know, like the banter and the chemistry. I love it. And then Elena says to Bree that they won another round of the shots, and then there's a guy who walks into the bar, and him and Bree look at each other, so we gather that he's the one that Bree was calling. In the next scene, we are at the grill where Anna and Jeremy are playing pool, and Jeremy is telling Anna that he finds it really weird that their ancestors have like a similar type of a journal. Anna tells him that maybe it was partially like based on the truth, and Jer again says no, it has to be metaphorical. Anna then tells him that maybe one day they could get a bunch of vampire movies and watch them and have like a fright night, and Jer kind of doesn't look very excited about it, so she says, oh, I guess like not, and he's like, yeah, I just like got out of a relationship and I'm not really looking for something or ready for anything new. And then Anna says that she meant as friends, and then she says she has to go. At Bree's bar, Elena is drunk and she's playing pool. Then her phone is ringing, so she takes it and she takes the phone to go outside to take the call. She trips, her phone flies out of her hand, somebody then grabs her. Damon goes outside and he's looking for Elena because he didn't see her in the bar, and then somebody grabs him and starts putting gasoline on him and wants to put him on fire. So he's super confused and he's like, who are you? And the guy says, that's perfect, you have no idea. And Elena says, what are you talking about? What did he do? And then the guy says, he killed my girlfriend. What did she do to you, huh? What did she do to you? And Damon says, nothing. Elena says, I don't understand. And this guy says, my girlfriend went to visit Stefan and Damon killed her. Got it? And Elena kind of connects the dots and she's like, Lexi was your girlfriend? She told me about you. She said that you were human. I was. Lexi turned you? If you want to be with someone forever, you have to live forever. And I actually do love this line a lot. If you want to be with someone forever, you have to live forever. Elena says, she loved you. She said that when it's real, you can't walk away. Well, that's the choice you're not going to have to make. Please don't hurt him. I'm doing you a favor. Lexi loved you and she was good, and that means that you're good too. Be better than him. Don't do this. I'm begging you, please. Lee then smashes Damon against the wall and then he leaves him be and disappears. Oh, but before he disappears, Elena says thank you and he said it wasn't for you, and then he disappears. Then Lee is gone and Elena goes to check on Damon if he's okay. In the next scene, Stefan is walking Bonnie home and he's talking to her Grams after Bonnie goes inside. And they are kind of talking about the past because apparently Stefan and Grams met back in 1969. Grams is asking Stefan if Bonnie knows about the vampires and he tells her that she does. In the next scene is a horrible scene, but there's a really good song there, and it's the only one song from Alex's band, and it's another one of those Vampire Diaries songs that live rent-free in my head, and they are part of the Vampire Diaries for me now. Damon is back in Bree's bar, and Bree is scared of him because she thought that Lee is gonna kill him. She says, I'm full of vervain, I put it in everything I drink. And you're telling me this. Why? Lexi was my friend. How could you? And then she adds, the tomb can be opened. You're lying. Emily's grimoire, her spellbook. If you know how she closed the tomb, the reversal process will be in her book. You can open that tomb. Where's the book? You have no idea. No, I'm telling you the truth. And I believe you, my dear, sweet Bree. That's why I'm almost sorry. And as he says that last line, he rips her heart out. Literally rips her heart out. And I don't know. I think that it's a little bit weird because I think if now, so Damon killed Lexi. Now if he also killed Bree, wouldn't Lee go after him again? Because he was friends with Bree? And also, Lee could have figured that Damon's gonna kill Bree because Bree was the one who called Lee. So it feels a little bit undone, this plot. It feels like it's not really thought all the way through. Also, if Damon was so eager to get into the tomb, which we know that he was, I don't think he would kill Bree. Same thing like he did with Logan. He wanted to kill Logan, but when Logan said that he knows someone else who's trying to get into the tomb and he has some information, Damon didn't kill him. He let him go. So I think that if Bree said that to Damon, despite the fact that she called the guy and whatnot, I don't think he would kill her. So this scene doesn't this these events don't really add up to me too much. Anyways, after Damon kills Bree, he is walking out of the bar, and in the next scene we are in his car where he is with Elena. Elena says, "So why did you bring me with you?" "Well, you're not the worst company in the world, Elena. You should give yourself more credit." "Seriously? You were in the road, all damsel in distress like, and I knew it would piss off Stefan, and you're not the worst company in the world, Elena. I used to be more fun. You did okay. I saved your life." "I know. And don't you forget it." And it's really cute the way she like smirks at him when she says that. I really like the scene between them because I think it's like the first time when Elena and Damon have this like nice like friendly energy between them, but also with like a hint of flirting, but not really. Like it's cute. And throughout this whole episode, I love their scenes together and their energy. It's like there's something, but it's not too much, you know. And I think that also it was helpful that Nina and Ian dated later on, so I think that their real life chemistry transferred on the screen. We are coming towards the end of this episode, and we have in front of us a very, very intense scene between Stefan and Elena. So let's dive into that. Elena comes to Stefan's room and she says, "You could have told me. I wanted to tell you. You said no more lies, only the truth. I can handle truth, Stefan. As crazy as it is, I can handle the fact that you are a vampire, and that you have a vampire brother, and that my best friend is a witch. I can accept the fact that the world is a much more mysterious place than I ever thought possible. But this lie, I cannot take. Who am I to you? What am I to you? You are not Catherine. You're the opposite of everything that she was. And when did you figure that out? Before you kissed me? Before we slept together? Before I met you?" "What?" "The first day of school, when we met. It wasn't for the first time, Elena." "Then when was it?" "May 23rd, 2009. But that was the day that your parents' car went off the bridge." "You were there?" "Every couple of years, I come back here to see Zach, to see my home. Last spring, I was out in the woods by Old Wickery Bridge, and I heard the accident. All of it. I was fast getting there, but not fast enough. The car was already submerged. Your dad was still conscious. I was able to get to him, but he wouldn't let me help him until I helped you. My God, when I woke up in the hospital, nobody could figure out how I got out of the car. They said it was a miracle. I went back for them, but it was too late. I couldn't save them. When I pulled you out, I looked at your face, and you looked like Catherine, and I couldn't believe the resemblance. After that, I spent months making sure that you weren't her. I watched you. I learned everything that I could about you, and I saw that you were nothing like Catherine. And I wanted to leave town, but Elena, I couldn't. I couldn't leave without knowing you. I'm so sorry that I didn't tell you. I wanted to, but you were so sad. Why do I look like her? Elena, you've been through so much. Why do I look like her, Stefan? What are you not telling me? It didn't make any sense to me. You were a Gilbert, she was a Pierce. But the resemblance was too similar, and then I learned the truth. You were adopted, Elena. This scene is like super packed with information, and the information alone of May 23rd, 2009, that was like 100 years ago. Doesn't it feel like it was 100 years ago? That's insane. Also, I feel like Elena is not like freaking out too much. Like there's a lot of shit he just told her, but I guess she's in shock. I mean, I'm always like in shock when something bad happens or I learn something I don't really want to know. In the next scene, we are in the library where Anna is bringing to Jeremy some proof of vampires, like about animal attacks. She's showing him animal attacks throughout the years and bodies drained of blood and all that shebang. And I don't really understand because Anna is like shoving vampires into Jeremy's face, but as we know later on, it's not going to really make much sense. Like, why does she want him to believe so much? Then we are back in Stefan's room and Elena is asking him how does he know all of that. He says that he found her birth certificate, but there is no evidence of her mom ever being pregnant or ever being admitted to a hospital to give birth. Elena is asking him what else does he know, and he says he couldn't dig any deeper because if he wanted to learn anything more, he would have to start looking for information about Catherine and her family, and that is dangerous. Then he says, it doesn't matter, you are the woman that I love you. Elena then kisses him, and then like she goes into his arms and crying. But I think if I was Elena, I would ask him, why is it risky to ask about Catherine? And I think that it would also be freaked out by the fact that I look exactly like his ex, and also that he was kind of like stalking me, and then he pretended he doesn't know me, like when we first met. Yeah. Elena after that goes home. She comes home and Jenna is like angrily flipping through a magazine. I think we've all been there, like you're not really focusing on what you're doing, but you're just doing something. And when Elena walks into the door, Jenna tells her like, listen, like I don't set a lot of rules, not with you. I trust you to tell me the truth. Where were you? Why would you lie to me about it? I thought we were closer than that. Now it's not the time you want to talk to me about lies. Don't do that. Don't turn this back on me. I didn't do anything. Okay, question. Am I adopted? I trust you to tell me the truth too, Jenna. How could you not tell me? I thought we were closer than that. Elena, I didn't. They asked me not to. I don't want to hear it. And I kind of like how Elena flips the same sentence back on Jenna. Then there is the last scene of this episode, which is Rick sitting in the grill and drinking. Damon walks in and he orders a drink, and we are going back to Rick's flashback. We see his wife again, and then we see Damon, who is sucking the blood out of her, and Rick sees that. Damon then kind of like nods at Rick, and Rick goes like insane and his hands start to shake, and I guess now we know why Rick came to Mystic Falls. And this, my friends, is the ending of episode 11. Anything else that we see is just the Vampire Diaries on the screen, and that is it. This episode was like super full of informations and of very fun scenes. My favorites were definitely Damon and Elena and the whole Georgia road trip and shots and I cannot unhinge my jaw like a snake kind of banter that they had. It was really cute. I really liked it. So anyone who is just here for the Vampire Diaries, this is the ending of this episode. I have a couple of things to talk about True Blood and the Vampire Diaries and some resemblances and some differences in those two shows. So I am on my third round of rewatching True Blood. I'm totally obsessed with it now. Don't ask me why. I never was that obsessed. Like, I love that show, but now it became my comfort show. It used to be How I Met Your Mother, but now it's True Blood. And there are some differences between the vampires in our Vampire Diaries and on True Blood, and I just thought that it would be maybe interesting to share that. So, first difference is that when a vampire cries on True Blood, their tears are like bloody. They actually cry blood. And it is funny, especially with Jessica on True Blood, because sometimes she says things like, oh, I really feel like crying right now, but I'm not gonna because it's gross. And it's just always laugh. Whereas the TVD vampires, when they cry like normal tears, like normal people. Also, our vampires in TVD, their whole face changes when they go like full on vamp. Like they have the veins under their eyes. Their eyes are kind of like creepy, demony, and then their teeth, like a couple of their teeth also, change. Whereas in True Blood, they only, when they get all vampy, they only have the fangs, and the fangs they have. I think our vampires have them further, but on True Blood, it's the second tooth. Like you have your first tooth, and then you have the second ones, and that's where they have the fangs. It actually looks super cool, and also it's made in a way that they have normal teeth, and once their fangs pop, their normal teeth kind of like flip in, and the fangs like flip out, if that makes sense. Like it changes into the fangs, and it's really cool, and they actually put it on the camera quite a lot, so you can really like see the change, and it's funny. Then food. So actually this whole comparison I thought about when Damon was talking about eating, and when he was eating the burger. So in True Blood, vampires don't eat, but here Damon says that if he has enough blood in his system, he can pretty much eat like a normal person, and like it's fine. But then there is this question, like, does he then have to go use the bathroom? Like, what is up with that? I know that when Wiki got turned, she was like, oh, I have to go pee. Why do I have to go pee? I thought I was dead. So I don't really know how that works. Like if they still have to, like, if they drink and eat, if they then have to use the bathroom. I would like to know, but I don't need to know. Then in True Blood, the vampires must rest during the day, because if they don't go sleep, then they start bleeding from ears and nose, I think, which our vampires don't have problem with that. And also, like I mentioned in the last episode, the process of turning into a vampire is also different. In the Vampire Diaries, you have to die with a vampire's blood in your system, and then you have to feed on a human to complete the transition. Where in True Blood, you first must be basically on a brink of death. Then they'll give you the vampire blood, and then your maker has to go in the ground with you, like in a grave or like in a hole in the ground, with like literally like not blood, like mulch all over you, or what is it called? Soil. Like you have to be put in the ground with the soil on top of you for a day and a night to become a vampire. And I don't think you even need to drink the blood after that to complete the transition. Like I think you are a vampire, and of course you have to drink blood, but I don't think it like depends on the transition into the vampire itself like it does in the Vampire Diaries. So there was and then there is one more, that when a vampire dies on True Blood, they become this like bloody goo, which is disgusting. It's not like it's not a body, you stake them and they are goo, which to me it's like they weren't even existing or something. Like it's weird, because all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like it really crashes down the difference between people and vampires, because if you kill a human, there's a body, right? But when you kill the vampire and there's just a goo, it kind of feels like they really were already dead or something. I can't explain it. That's just how my brain deals with it. And in the Vampire Diaries, our vampires, when they're staked, they turn gray and they get like those veins, but you still have the body. So those are like the main reasons that I kind of like saw, during watching the True Blood now, and watching Vampire Diaries for the podcast. So I hope you enjoyed that. Then I also want to mention that in this episode, we are in Breeze Bar, and I was in Georgia, in Covington, Georgia, last summer. I was there in June, and Breeze Bar is about 5-minute drive from like Mystic Grill, like from the town square, where in the show they make it seem like it's a couple hours away driving, and they crossed into Georgia. Meanwhile, Covington actually is in Georgia, so there is like a joke within a joke in that itself. Breeze Bar is awesome. I was there during the day, it was empty. There was just like the bartender girl, I guess, getting ready for the night. And I snuck in and I was like, oh, do you think I could take a picture here? Because there was also on the wall, there was a big painting, or not like it was painted on the wall, like a big picture of like teeth with the vampire, not teeth, mouth with the vampire teeth, and it had the like blood coming down, and it said the Vampire Diaries. So she was like, yeah, just tag us on Instagram. So I took a picture there. I took a picture of the bar, and I was talking a little bit with the waitress, and I'm like, oh, it looks different on the show. And she said that the bar was renovated since the show. So actually the bar, the way it was, appeared in the show, but it was renovated since then. That's why it looked different now on the show. But it was so cool to be there. And actually the outside of the bar looks like very much like the show, where the guy Lee, which I had to Google what Lexi's boyfriend name was because I didn't even know, but his name was Lee. So when he was hurting Damon, that's like right outside of there. Like, it's kind of like not creepy, but they didn't have to really try hard to make it look like the way it looks in the show. Like, they were basically like, oh, this is perfect, let's do it here. So that was really cool. And as I mentioned, I saw Damon's car there. Definitely gonna put some pictures up for you on the Instagram. It's TVD forever. I was feeling epic. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I really love the scenes between Elena and Damon. Next time we're gonna look at episode number 12. And I just have a little anecdote from my personal life, and that is that I am the destroyer of the MacBooks, which is really weird because I was super good with my first MacBook. I got it when I graduated college with my bachelor degree, which was 2015. Then I had that MacBook for like 6 or 7 years until like it completely just gave up on me. And I got a new one, and I got the rose gold one, and I loved it. But then one day at work, I was working on this pocket watch. I was like taking it apart for something. And the crown from the pocket watch jumped somewhere. Like, I had the pliers and it jumped. And that happens to me all the time. Like, I'm always clipping things, getting gemstones out. I work at the antique store, and we mainly deal with antique jewelry. So I'm always repairing jewelry, always just like digging in stuff and clipping things. So it didn't even faze me that that piece jumped somewhere. I'm like, whatever, I'll find it later. Like, it's fine. And I didn't really think about that, and then I went to close my laptop, but that little crown piece from the pocket watch went in like where your MacBook closes, and it jumped right there. And when I closed it, it pierced the screen because it was inside, and then it like jammed itself where it closes, and it pierced my screen, and the screen was shot. Like, it was just dead. I went to ask if they can repair it, and they said it was gonna be $600. So I was like, well, great, I guess I'm getting a new MacBook, whatever. So I got a new MacBook last year in December. No, not last year, 2025. Well, it was a year. It's like year and a month. I'm getting lost here in the math, but I've had the new one for about a year. So we had this antique show this past weekend, and we're bringing a lot of stuff, a lot of jewelry, paintings, and all that stuff. We're like, just tired packing and all this crap. And I made tea. I love tea. I always make like a lot of tea wherever I go. I like to drink a lot of tea during the day, whatever. So I put it in my bottle. I put the bottle in my computer bag, and then I guess the top of the bottle, where that gummy thing is that you like take out and clean, wasn't sitting right in the lid. So the entire 1.5 liters of the tea just spilled all over my MacBook, all over my like bag. It was disgusting. The whole bottle was gone. So my MacBook is all wet. It's like dripping the tea. So I'm like, well, great. I dried it, and then it was like shutting on and off. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put it to sleep, or like I turned it off for like 3 days, left it be, and it seems like it's okay, but we're gonna see. I hope, because like really I can't buy a laptop every year. And then there is a third one that I also did something to, which was my boss's computer. And this happened 3 days after I ruined mine with the part of the bucket witch. And we finished like a really successful weekend. We were selling some Chanel clothes at our store and it was good, and we had a glass of champagne. And I, being a clumsy person as I am, like I always drop stuff, break stuff, bump into stuff, and just spill things like it's unreal. So she has her laptop open 3 days after I broke mine. I go and I flop the whole glass of champagne on her computer. It spills all over her keyboard, everything. So we're drying it out. Then we left it be for a couple days, and it does work. She has it until this day, so I didn't totally kill it. But her keyboard is now very crunchy because I think the champagne has like sugar in it or something, and it went under the keyboard. So now whenever she types, it's like some of the keys are just crunching. So I just wanted to tell you that I am in fact a MacBook destroyer, and it's not even funny anymore. Like, those things are expensive. So that's it. But the positive thing about this is that when I ruined the rose gold MacBook that I had with the part of the watch, I got a new MacBook, and it's the bigger size screen. I always have I think it was a 13 before, and now I think I have the 15, and it's the MacBook Air, and I love it. I love the big one. So if you have the smaller one, definitely get the bigger size screen. It's amazing. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope that you're doing good. I am in New Jersey, and we've had like minus 15 Celsius for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and I am fed up. I'm over it. I'm cold and miserable. It's also dark outside. Like, I need some spring in my life. So it's going pretty fast this year, I have to say. So hopefully, better and warmer days are coming, but I hope that everything is going well for you. And we will meet here again next time, which will be at the 12th episode. So have a great weekend, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.